we got some news today that 20th Century Fox is sitting out this year's San Diego Comic-Con. Last year, they were there with X-Men Apocalypse. They had Hugh Jackman come out and do a wave. It was a great presentation, but the footage leaked online. Now, if you guys haven't been to San Diego Comic-Con, there's a giant auditorium called Hall H.
It's like, what, 7,000 people?
Something like that. I swear the number goes up an extra 1,000 every year you hear, but thousands of people. Yes, there are security people there. You were told 100 times, don't, turn off your cameras and laptops. Don't record the footage.
And the big thing about the big movie Hall H presentations is you are camping. You have to camp outside basically overnight to get into these at this point because they're so just so fan driven and there's this promise of exclusive footage when you get in, something you will only see at Comic-Con, and that's why you want to wait. But because of the changing times and because everyone has a cell phone with a great camera now, what Jim is saying, there's so many people there, it's all but impossible to stop someone from taking a video of the footage and then posting it on the internet.
Which is piracy. You're
it's
committing
flat out
a
piracy,
crime
and it's happened across the board with pretty much every studio.
It happened
that's
last year
been
with Suicide Squad too, and Warner Brothers' response to what we talked on the podcast at the time about, did they react appropriately to that? Should they
sent out a really
upset.
Snippy, upset response, which I think is fair. And people kept comparing it to how Marvel responded not too long before when the Age of Ultron trailer had leaked, and they just said, they said, "Damn it, Hydra."
Yeah, but what they don't, what fans don't remember is Marvel Legal went after all the people that were tied to that thing.
I mean, piracy is an ongoing issue, especially with movies, and so the whole argument that Fox had is, because of concerns about piracy, we aren't going to be delivering an exclusive event to the people who are here because this stuff is going to leak that's cut specifically for Comic-Con, and so they aren't doing anything. Which
the only thing that they're doing there is a small panel for Trolls, which is technically a DreamWorks animation release, and they're handling the distribution of their films for the time being. We get more on them in a little bit. However, my question to you and to the viewers and listeners, with Disney also possibly sitting out Comic-Con, according to The Wrap, who first reported this whole story, Disney has Star Wars Celebration coming up. They have D23 Expo next year. They have other shows that they can tout their stuff to.
Fox doesn't have that. And Fox has a huge slate of movies that they could be promoting,
including
Assassin's Creed being the biggest among them.
Yeah.
And this seemingly being the biggest audience they could reach people at. I mean, I wonder if they're going to do something at E3 at this point now.
I bet you they probably will.
Which is about a month before, as I'm sure many of you know.
I bet you they probably will, and that way they can, if anything happens, maybe they shift the onus to Ubisoft or something. But my question is, with Disney possibly sitting this out, with Fox definitely sitting it out, does that mean Warner Brothers, with their big superhero slate, and a lot of people are wondering this and speculating on it, does that mean, has Warner Brothers already essentially won Comic-Con with their DC stuff without even showing up yet?
Here's the question, though. What if they decide to tamp down on what they're doing because of that?
They would be damn fools.
Yeah, they would be damn fools because they might not really have any competition, even if their stuff does leak, which again, it almost inevitably will leak.
Well, hopefully they learn from last year and just have the thing ready to go online.
Right, which is also, I think, sort of part of the problem. You get less of an amazing exclusive experience. I remember when Avatar was there the first time, and it was, there was 3D glasses, which at the time, you never had 3D glasses.
We didn't even know each other then.
We didn't even know each other then, but it was 13 minutes or something of Avatar, and it was the first anyone had seen of Avatar after James Cameron basically did what he did now and went into a hole and made this movie for almost a decade. Imagine doing that now. It would all leak, and I don't think that necessarily much, if any of that, did make its way online. It's sort of a shame, and I think part of a trend of movies not having the same impact at Comic-Con that they used to, and I think it is the rise of just cell phones and cameras and leaking stuff in that way.
But I think that Warner Brothers I think they have to go because of the response to BVS being so divided.
Yeah, you really need to sell stuff.
And Suicide Squad opens the following month. Even if if the movie is ready, do early fan screenings of Suicide Squad. They could do the Harley's tattoo parlor thing again. And you want your Justice League to come out on stage together.
Yeah, you wanted them to assemble the Justice League, and I was really surprised that they didn't do that last year, actually.
Yeah. They did the concept art thing, but now that we've seen them in action, like, and they're filming the movie, and they're going to have Wonder Woman footage that can be shown.
Right.
You know,
I think that they should definitely lean into this and see this as an opportunity. The other two big studios that could do something interesting, Paramount. Paramount has this whole Transformers universe they're building up. This is a great chance to show that off, and also they have like the G.I. Joe expanded Hasbro universe that they announced.
Space Night, man, I can't wait for that.
So there's like a lot of really cool stuff there, and then Universal also has a chance to do some interesting stuff. Sony is there too.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll see any
we'll see if
Sony
Sony goes. Actually, I'm not sure.
I don't think that
they've
they
sat
will.
it out before, but I think, I mean, ultimately,
it might be some Screen Gems stuff, but I don't think much Sony proper.
I think though that, you know, Warner Brothers will essentially be the big game there. They're going to be the talking point, and you do want to get as a fan experience. And with Marvel not there, you know, because Marvel used to close that panel at Comic-Con, and that was the final conversation was about Marvel. If Disney sits it out and they don't go, and there's nothing Marvel there, Marvel movie was, I'm sure TV will have a presence, then it's Warner Brothers to lose, you know, and that would be a shame. You know, maybe we'll get some news about, you know, more DC movies, maybe a little, you know, something about Batman or Shazam or whatever, but, you know, it'll be interesting to see. Maybe we'll find out who's playing Hal Jordan.
Yes.
Maybe it is Matt Damon.
Maybe it is Matt Damon.
Maybe they're not just looking for a 40-something like Matt Damon. Maybe they're looking at you, Matt Damon.
Do you think that Ben Affleck has that in his contract? He's like, listen, I just gotta make one of these movies.
My soulmate better be in this thing or I'm out, you know? Well, we want to know from you guys, do you think Warner Brothers basically, you know, do they have Comic-Con now in the bag with all their DC movie stuff? Is it still a big gamble for them? Let us know in the comments.